You're watching Let's with Ayuma. Hey, I'm Ayuma Michelle and welcome to Let's with Ayuma. This is an online safe space that I started to empower progressive women from all around the world, just like you and I, to thrive with purpose. So today I'll be talking about how to finish the year strong. Yes, December is here. And so I'm super excited to share with you this episode, which will actually be my final episode of the year. Just to give myself enough time to reflect and get into the holiday season, and also to reflect on what I want for myself in 2022. So this is my final episode of 2021 and I'm talking about how to finish the year strong. But before we go any further, you know what time it is. You can obviously tell I'm all jumpy today because I'm super excited. You know what time it is. If you are new to this channel, if you stumbled across this channel, welcome. Please watch this video and watch another one, and if you do dig it, please subscribe. And if you recently subscribed to this channel, welcome. Please watch this video, and if you do love it, please share it with a friend of yours who equally can grow and learn from this, okay? So, and please, we are women of abundance. If you see anything, even if it's another video in this channel that you really love, please share it with a friend so that as you grow, they too are growing. Make sure your circle is growing as well, okay? So thank you. So let's get into the business of today. How to finish the year strong. Well, disclaimer, what I'm going to share with you today is based off of what has worked for me. And this is why it's been 3 years since I started taking social media breaks in October. And the reason why this happened, I don't know, why did I choose October? I think it's maybe because it's the beginning of Q4, the last quarter of the year. And I just felt like it's so important that before finishing the year, it's good to take stock, to catch up with my evolved self, and to find out, okay, who is this Ayuma right now? Who is this Ayuma that I'm taking with me to the next year? What does she like? What doesn't she like? What is she celebrating? What has she not worked on? What has she lost? What does she still need to work on? So I started practicing this, and to be honest, it's been very helpful in my business. I have seen the effect, and the good thing about this practice is that it helps. Not only does it help me to catch up with my evolved self, because I'm always evolving, but I like it. Why do I feel like it's bending? This Nini is okay. Yeah, it's good now. I am constantly evolving as a woman, as a creative, as a business person, as a human being. And I realize that if I don't give myself enough time to catch up with myself, then I will just carry all that confusion to the next year. So what I do in October is that I first of all rest. I reward myself with rest. Yes, even in the middle of the year. I reward myself with rest. I reflect. I pray. I do whatever I need to do to rest in various ways. Even creatively, I think of other fun things to do. And then I think it's a very good strategy because it helps me plan ahead. For me, it doesn't make sense to start planning for the year when the year has already begun. It makes sense to plan for the year before the year begins. So because I just feel like if I start planning for the year, yet the year has already begun, I feel like I'm already missing out. I feel like I'm already behind. I feel like I'm already chasing after the year, you know? So from the word go, I like knowing what I'm going to do right from January 1st. I want to know how do I want to celebrate? What activities am I going to take? Like, I just want to ease into the year so that the holiday season can be full of reflection, can be full of ease, because I know I'm ready to welcome this year because I have prepared for it. So that's my backstory. That was my story time. That was my story time, and I have truly learned a lot from that practice. So this is why I wanted to share with you the principles that have worked for me. These are not tips. This is not advice. I am not forcing you to take it. These are simple principles that have worked for me. And so if you dig it and if you want to apply it and you know, explore and see if it works for you, please go ahead, right? Nothing is ever set on stone, right? So In 2019, I took place. Oh, this is another story time. So I took part in a workshop by Mel Robbins, an amazing woman. She's an amazing transformative coach, and I like that she's fixated on people's minds, how your brain processes stuff and habits. So I took this best decade ever program that she was doing, because we were preparing to welcome 2020, and boy, didn't we know the year that was coming. But I just love the fact that even before joining that program, I had already taken a break in that October, in that year 2019, I think, and I had taken a break. I had done analysis of my business. I had looked at which clients do I need to let go of, which ones do I need to continue working with. I'd already looked at my finances. I'd looked at my love life. I'd looked at my spiritual life. I'd basically looked at my health and fitness, the various areas of my life which really matter to me. Okay, and because I had prepared for that and created room, this program came and became an asset. So what this program did is that it helped us create goals in the decade instead of a year. So instead of looking at 2020 as one of those years where I need to create a vision board for just 1 year, it gave me permission to create a vision board for my entire decade, from 2020 to 2029. It gave me opportunity to figure out and to ask myself, what does this look like? What does it look like? Is it 2029? Wait, I don't know why I'm thinking of 2030 plus. Yeah, 2029. I don't know why my mind was 2029. So it just gave me permission, because I was prepared and I was ready to receive. This program then became like an asset, right? And because I had planned out my decade, it then gave me permission to focus on at least one goal to perfect and to master in 2020, right? And one of those goals, I think, was to deal with my finances. Boy, didn't I tell you, when you focus on one goal for a full year, it breathes life into other goals. I tell you, it was so beautiful how it worked. At first I was like, oh my gosh, which one do I choose? Out of the decade goals, you had to choose 10 only 10 goals. Only 10 goals for the decade that creates an image or a vision of the person that you'd like to be at the end of the decade. So, and for each year, you needed to focus on only one goal, right? And so for me, it was sort of, I was like, which one do I start with? Which one do I start with? You know? But funny enough, inside me, I always knew the one which is the most urgent. So I started with the one which is the most urgent. And for me, it dealt with finances. I tell you, that 1 year focused on my finances, in the middle of a decade, in the middle of a pandemic. It was really rough, but I tell you, it was so rewarding. It was so rewarding because I had space, I had room to focus on this one area of my life, to perfect it, to show up in rooms which speak about finances, to get a finance coach, to apply for courses to deal with finances, to actually prepare a budget, to start quoting higher in my business, to change my business model. I did all of those things. And I tell you, if I had not done that, my business would not have survived the pandemic. Literally, my business would not have survived the pandemic. In fact, I ended up earning more. And because of the structures I had set up in 2020 as a result of focusing on that one goal, I ended up earning even more this year in 2021. It's my best performing year. I've never earned more in my business more than I have in 2021. And that is a result of the structures that I set up in 2020. You see what I mean when I talk about if you focus on one goal, as long as it's healthy and holistic, it will breathe life into your other goals. Now, because of that, I was able to focus on another area of my life today. I mean, this year. And it actually focused more on my relationship life. And I realized, my goodness, even before my relationship, before the man of my dreams walks into my life or spots me somewhere and comes after me, I realized that I needed to build a relationship with myself. And so this year has been one where I did therapy to heal some of the traumas that I had, which sometimes would show up in my relationships. I had to heal and cure the false stories that were in my mind about love, about relationships, about certain types of men, and also about certain things, right? And also a very interesting thing that I noticed, because I worked on my finances last year, that financial aspect in relationships actually came out as from a healed perspective. When I thought about relationships, I was thinking of myself as a builder. I was thinking of myself as a partner, as a purpose partner. I wasn't just seeing myself as a wife or as a girlfriend or as a woman in his life. But I was looking at myself as, hey, I also have something to bring on the table. In fact, I am the table. I am the table in this relationship, okay? There wouldn't be anything to put in this. If there wasn't no table, I am the table, you see? So it gave me so much confidence to talk about finance and money and wealth. I was able to invest so much, even in an investment course. I tell you, it has really helped me build a good relationship with myself by working on myself as the kind of partner that I would desire. That's a huge thing. I used to think, where are these guys? Why is it taking so long? You know, many of my friends are getting married and all these things are happening. But I was like, what is happening? Until this year, when I just gave myself permission. Yes, there are other business goals, other important things, but equally, this is equally important, because the person that you choose to for your life as a life partner literally affects the trajectory of your life. So this is very, very important. So I needed to give it the time. So I had a full year to focus on it. And I tell you, yes, I'm closing the year. I do not have a boyfriend yet. I do not have a boo yet. But I even love that language that I am saying yet. I'm not saying I do not have a boo. I'm saying yet, because I know the perfect time is coming. But while I wait, I am working on myself as the asset that I am, as the table that I am, as the purpose partner that I am, as the builder that I am, and as the pure God's perfect package of favor as a woman that I am. So I am closing the year knowing that I am a catch, working on myself as enough, building a relationship with myself, Ayuma, the woman, the creative. I am closing this year having built an even more intimate and better relationship with myself. And I think that's the best investment you can ever have in any relationship, because for me, I desire marriage, a godly, loving, lasting, passionate marriage that is full of purpose. So that's what I desire, and I know good things like those don't just come on a silver platter. You need to work for it, and this is the work. The work means working on myself and building myself into these values that I espouse, or actually building myself into the partner, the kind of partner that I would like to attract, because like attracts like. So I'm really, really happy about that. And so I have the one for the next year. And so that's what I'm kind of thinking about right now. And that's why I would like to take a break this December from, outputting, so that I can catch up with my evolved self. So that's what happened during that program. And I would like to also extend that to you as an idea that you could explore. I love the thing that I love about this Best Decade program is that Mel Robbins taught us that as long as you keep showing up for yourself in a holistic and healthy fashion, if you show up in a holistic and healthy fashion in one area of your life, the other areas of your life which are equally important, they will benefit from it. It will breathe life into it. And I'm just so excited to finally see it manifesting in my life. There is a friend of mine who actually started her number one goal for the decade was actually her love and relationships. And right now, she's so much in love. She finally found the love of her life. She's so much in love and she's really doing well. So that tells me that, hey, this program actually works. So don't give yourself pressure of putting all of your 10 goals in 1 year. Spread them out over a decade. Don't aim for perfection, aim for growth. And know that when you fully and presently and intentionally show up in one area of your life, it will breathe life into the other goals that you have. Okay? So I have these three fives. I have these 5 ideas that I would like to share with you, which can help you with preparing to finish the year strong. Okay? So number 1, I invite you to take stock of the things that went well this year and celebrate it in an awesome way. I know it's easy, especially we are still amid a pandemic and there's so many things that may be happening around us. But there's something that went right. I would like you to take a notebook or a gratitude journal. Take note of the things that went well this year and celebrate. Why? Whatever is celebrated will be repeated. Whatever is celebrated, it will be repeated. If you take time to take stock of what went right and you celebrate that, guess what? You have even more reason to repeat that, because you're creating a culture of celebration within yourself, so that you just don't close the year celebrating all manner of festivals, but you don't celebrate yourself. You need to celebrate your progress and what has gone well, and doing it in a meaningful way. It doesn't need to be something so super expensive. It can be something so simple. I took myself out on a getaway. I was supposed to go to the Kenyan coast, but because of COVID and all that stuff, I was like, listen, I do not want to go through COVID again. So I was like, let me take myself to a staycation at an Airbnb in a beautiful environment away from the busyness of the city. And it was beautiful. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do more of this. Ayuba, you need to do this again for yourself, Whatever is celebrated, it will be repeated. Take stock of what went right, because there must be something that went right this year. Number 2, this is putting your mindset in a place of gratitude, right? So that even as you ease into the holidays, you're already in a mood of gratitude, and you'll begin the year with gratitude and a celebration and repetition of what went right the previous year. So number 2, have a long-term vision of your goal, right? This is a marathon. It's not a sprint. Remember, I created 10 goals. I spread out my 10 goals within the decade. So I keep telling myself, hey, I have 8 more years left. I have 8 more years to go, or I have 7 more years to go. It's such a relief, because I'm like, oh my gosh, the year is ending. I have only achieved 1 goal. That's why sometimes, because of the overwhelm, many of us don't achieve our goals, because we pile too many of them in 1 year. And my goodness, you're just one human being, and you're constantly transforming in very micro ways that have a lasting impact. So don't put too much pressure on yourself to transform so much about yourself in a very short period of time. Yes, a year is a very short period of time, right? So please spread out and have a long-term vision of the kind of person that you want to be. Who would you like to be by 2030? What does your life look like? What does your health look like? What does your finances look like? What do your relationships look like? What does your self-esteem look like? Give yourself a chance to figure that out, and then trace the dots back. I'll come to that in a few. But listen, release yourself and relieve yourself from the pressure of having to do everything in just 1 year. Focus on one goal, show up holistically, and guess what? It will breathe life into other areas of your life, which are equally important. Number 3, create authentic and holistic goals and be very specific about them. So a beautiful thing that I recently learned, especially around this, is that many of us create goals for ourselves that are not really for ourselves. If somebody has a goal for you, is that really the goals that you have? Are they really your goals? Right? If you have, let's say, a fitness goal, is that fitness goal really yours? Or is it pressure from social media? You've seen somebody with a 6-pack, so you're giving yourself pressure to have a 6-pack, right? Apologies for that. Kids are being dropped off at home. Yeah. So if somebody has a certain body size, are you giving yourself pressure to have that body size just because that's what you see? Or have you had a conversation with your doctor and nutritionist and decided what does a healthy body size look like for you? What a healthy body size looks like for you could be something completely different from what the media is telling you. So please, as you're setting these goals, make them realistic, make them authentic to you. Please fact check, consult with actual experts, and customize it to you. If you want a healthy body, consult with doctors and nutritionists at what a healthy body looks like to you. Don't just go for a certain body size. Get the facts right so that it's holistic and healthy for you. And be very specific. A healthy body for me looks like one that is this particular size. A healthy body looks for me looks like one that is sustained by this diet, that has this nutrition, that has this balance of XYZ. Please get specific, right? A wealthier me, or let's say financial freedom. Many people talk about financial freedom, but what does that mean? Does financial freedom mean having your own home? Does financial freedom mean earning a certain amount of money per month? What does financial freedom mean? Work with an actual finance coach. Break down the numbers. Figure out what does financial freedom look like. How much do you need to earn per month? How do you get to that point? Right? Or a business coach who can help you figure out those numbers. How can you get to those numbers with your activities every single month? It is possible. Involve experts. And also acknowledge your most urgent goals. Also acknowledge your silent goals. Maybe some goals that you've really desired, but you become silent about it because maybe of doubt, or maybe because you've tried so hard and it's not coming through. But also acknowledge some of the repetitive goals that you've had, but that maybe they've never just come to pass. So take note of those so that you can mark down the habits that make these goals not come to fruition. Maybe you've always had this fitness goal, for example, but then there's this habit of always eating snacks or lots of carbs before you sleep. Or maybe you're an emotional eater, or maybe you're jumping from diet to diet to diet to diet. So so it's not really sustainable. Instead of coming up with a long-term nutrition or food or meal plan, you are jumping from maybe diet to diet to diet. So maybe you're not really having time to really sustain whatever this meal plan is. So focus on the habits so that you can be able to see which habits do I need to create to actually sustain these holistic, authentic goals. Number four is please connect the dots. Connect the dots and work your way back. If you have a goal, for example, if I have a goal of having this beautiful, thriving, lasting, godly relationship, I already know the values, right? So for me, or not even a relationship, a marriage, for me, I desire marriage. I believe in marriage, even in this generation. I know many millennials are losing hope in marriage, but I do believe in it as an institution, especially when it's done in accordance to God's principles, who created and designed it. I believe that if you do it the way it's designed, then it will work for you, right? So that's what I believe. And it's okay if many people don't share this belief. It's according to what I believe, right? So if I see myself in such a beautiful, healthy, rich, vibrant marriage, then work my way back. What are the dots? I need to break down the dots, right? And at the end of the day, I realize, my goodness, I need to work on myself. I need to work on myself first. I need to love myself. I need to forgive myself. I need to invest in a therapist to help me manage some of the traumas that I have, that I realize I'm carrying into relationships or dating scenes and stuff like that. I need to create boundaries. I need to change the language and how I talk about myself. I need to also work on my body, because listen, when you go into the dating scene, our reptilian brain is in action and we see first before we get to know who this person is. So let's not lie to ourselves. You see that person first, they catch your eye, you're attracted to them first before you even have an opportunity to explore their mind and their hearts, So working on myself so that I can also, because I'm a catch, I need to look like that catch, okay? According to what that looks like to me. Not according to him or what society says is a catch, according to what my best body looks like, my best healthy body, sexy body looks like. That's what I'm working on for me, not for other people, okay? So please connect the dots. Have the long-term vision, but then connect the dots. Work your way back. What does this look like? It looks like therapy. It looks like changing how I speak about myself. It looks like working on my self-confidence. It looks like actually taking myself out on dates. It looks like creating a budget where I take myself out on dates. It looks like that. It looks like showing up in creative environments or fun places, It looks like working on my finances so that I can be a great purpose partner, right? So things like those. And then make sure you plan the action plan, the steps, the tasks, and the timelines. Make sure you break it down within a year so that you have time to work on it, and give yourself a break. You don't need to work on all of those in a year. You have more than enough time. And lastly, please create your goals ahead of the next year, right? Take time to reflect, especially during this time when many things are slowing down. Please take time to reflect, take time to take stock, and take time to reimagine yourself from a place of abundance, right? The holidays are coming, people are going to be celebrating, they're going to be sharing and stuff like that. Gift yourself as well these holidays. Before the busyness of the holidays come through, take a break and create those goals. Now that I've taken stock, Now that let me look at the notes. Now that I've taken stock, now that I have a long-term vision of my goals and my journey, now that I've audited these goals and I've realized that they are actually what I see for myself, and that they are holistic, they are healthy, and I'm very specific about them, that I've broken them down. Now that I've connected the dots and I've worked my way back and I've broken them down into tasks, into timelines. Is this what am I going to do this quarter? What am I going to do this month? What am I going to explore? How much do I need to invest? Things like those. What kind of help do I need? I've broken it down to tasks and action steps. Now create the goals. And when you create the goals, don't let it just stick to your mind. Actually create it. Do a vision board party for yourself, or with friends, or with your family, or with your girlfriends. Please create that vision, remove it from your mind and put it on paper. Create a vision board and let it be like in a place which constantly reminds you, this is the woman that you have committed to becoming. For me, I normally use Canva to design my vision board. And so I create that vision board and it becomes one of my screensavers. I also take some photographs from the internet which represent some of these goals, and I put it on a certain folder on my screensaver on my laptop, so that now when my laptop is resting, it brings that up as a screensaver. It brings up what a healthy relationship looks like, what a healthy body looks like, what this looks like. So it brings these images. Another thing is that I also share with my close friends what these goals are ahead of the year, so that they are aware, oh, let's take stock. This is where you worked on. This is what you're good at. Because my friends are my accountability partners. So I share it with them so that they also keep me accountable to the woman I've committed to becoming in the next year. Okay? So please, please, please take time to think about this and work on this ahead of the next year, because this is just my personal feeling. Once the year begins, it's like some decisions have already been made for you. And for me, I like taking charge of my decisions and how I even want to start the year. So I hope that you find these tips to be helpful and useful. Please comment below and let me know, which tip are you taking with you? Which principle are you taking with you to practice? Please let me know. And if there are any other principles that you've been practicing which help you prepare for the next year, please comment below so that I can learn from you. Okay? So I wish you a wonderful, wonderful December and wonderful holidays ahead. For those of you who celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas in advance. I wish you the very, very best, and I look forward to sharing with you some exciting news towards the end of the year. And at the beginning of the year, I'm really planning for something really exciting and amazing, and I can't wait to share the experience with you. Okay, this is Let's with Ayuma, an online safe space that I started to empower progressive women just like you and I from all around the world to thrive with purpose. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I wish you happy holidays. Bye bye.